Welcome back, Battle Brothers. Today we're diving into the tactical class in Space Marine 2. I'll be breaking down its strengths, weaknesses, and my go-to build, including the perks and weapons I swear by on Ruthless difficulty. If you wish for some PvP tips, there are plenty of other content creators that can cover it. Uh, but without further ado, let's get on with the tactical. The tactical class immediately stands out with its diverse selection of primary weapons, from the reliable automatic bolter to the devastating melta rifle. It's a class that can dominate at any range, depending on your setup. While many players tend to stick with one weapon they're comfortable with, I'd strongly recommend experimenting with different options. Each weapon brings something unique to the table that could cater to your playstyle. If the Bolt SMG, one of the least used weapons in the game, is your preferred weapon of choice, then by all means slay away at your enemies. Personally, the Plasma Incinerator has been a game changer against the Chaos faction for me, which, let's face it, most of the community finds particularly annoying. Meanwhile, the classic bolter rifles tear through Tyranid hordes fairly easily. The tactical excels in any role during a firefight, whether you're laying down suppressive fire, supporting a bulwark on the front lines, or covering a heavy. The Auspex scan as well is probably one of the strongest abilities in the game. Having the ability to scan and increase the damage that your targets take will always be a godsend, especially in the universe of 40k. With its strengths, the weaknesses that the tactical can suffer with are fairly simple and few. Sustain, for example. If you don't have a reliable means of healing, whether it's the Melta glitch at the current moment, the Bulwark healing you with his ability, or the contested health that you're trying to fight back. These are your main go-to methods of healing, as for every other Marine. That being said, it is really easy to get caught out against ranged opponents and get melted by them. You will get downed fast if caught out in the open, and the only way to counter it is by sticking with your team, since you are not Malum Cato from Bolt Gun. You are a tactical space marine in a squad of 3. Charging headfirst into a chaos horde while on half health and separated from your squad is probably not the best way to handle a ruthless mission. If you're fighting by yourself, I highly recommend fighting with the AI, as painstakingly annoying that may sound. They provide good body shields, and sometimes they even do a good job at priming enemies for you to execute. Moving on to the perks, the tactical class has a great mix of perks in the core, team, and signature categories. Unlike Bulwark, you've got some flexibility here. Some gear perks are niche, but a few are essential for the tactical. But we're going to break down for what perks I have and what I bring with me. First up, we have Kraken pen rounds. When fighting Tyranids, this perk is a lifesaver for conserving ammo. You'll get collateral kills more than you think, which means fewer reloads when you're mowing down swarms. If you're up against Chaos, though, I would swap this for the Plasma boost, as that is just added or more DPS on your end, assuming that you switch to the Plasma Incinerator for its stagger and stun potential. Next up, we have Relentless Pursuit. This perk rewards aggressive play, After a gun strike, you get a solid damage buff, and for those parry savvy players, it'll be really easy to get this buff rolling for a long period of time. And this applies to all your ranged weapons, so not just your primary weapon, but your secondary as well. Uh, Next up, we have Emperor's Vengeance. Killing a Majoris level enemy grants you a full magazine of primary ammo. This synergizes beautifully with Kraken rounds, keeping your ammo pool healthy. For the next three perks, we have Vital Data. Scanning a Majoris or Extremis enemy gives you a plus 50% Auspex scan charge. We have Battle Focus. A perfect parry gives a mark from an Auspex scan. And we have Expert Timing, plus 100% damage for marked enemies at the cost of 4 seconds taken from your Auspex scan. These three perks will make it so that no matter what in any fight you're in, most of the enemies will be weakened. If not from your parries, then it's from your scans. And quite frankly, you'll be having your scan up more often than you think. And lastly, we have the signature perk. We'll equip Radiating Impact. This perk is perfect for dealing with hordes. When you're surrounded by Minoris enemies, this ability clears them out relatively easy, or it can knock them back for a follow-up shot. You pair this with a Bulwark's banner ability, and you're giving your team crucial breathing room during those chaotic fights. For weapons, your primary, the bolt rifle, is probably your best bet. It's balanced in DPS, crowd control, ammo conservation, and range. The optional underbarrel grenade launcher is just a cherry on top for staggered enemies and small hordes. Combined with an Auspex scan, it's a reliable weapon for headshot focused gameplay as well. The Plasma Incinerator is also worth mentioning, especially against Chaos. While its damage output might not seem amazing, its stagger potential and charge shots are a real boon, especially when you're dealing with Chaos shields. Practice with it, and you'll see some of the results that I'm telling you about. For secondary and melee, we're stuck with the chainsword and bolt pistol. While I would have loved more variety here, with the right perks, these weapons are more than capable of holding their own. And that about concludes it for the tactical class. A versatile, hard-hitting, and adaptable warrior that shines on the battlefield as a roided up Swiss Army knife, as I'd put it. Make sure to experiment with different weapons and perks to find what works best for you. And as always, don't forget to stick with your team. Thanks for watching the video, and if you enjoyed what you saw, then I'm happy to have helped. For next week's video, we will be covering the Vanguard class. So I'll see you guys then. Peace.